we're headed to Sam's house, and Sam and I do a podcast called The Takeaway. Sam's one of my childhood friends. Went to high school together. He was a grade or two below me. But this kid is like probably one of the funniest people that I know. Also, he's a really good conversator. I just love him to death. So we've been talking about doing something together probably over the next like 3, 4, 5 years. And we finally came to this idea like, man, we both like talking about random things. We both had crazy 2 different points of views. And like, as we talk, we developed like the best questions. So we're like, you know what, let's just start. And mostly him too, like, great credit to him, really pushing us doing the podcast because I'm crazy busy. It's super new, but you know, our biggest goal is to stay consistent with it, do it every single week. He was sick on Sunday. I think I gave him my cold. I think he's better today. So now we're gonna head to his house, head to the basement, build something cool.
So,
ready?
Out and
what do you want me to say? Do you want me to like say hi?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to
So
talk
you say
about
this
stuff?
is Sam, and then.
So this is Sam.
I am Sam.
Done.
We're at Sam's mom's basement.
Shout out to mom. We're in the basement, about to film episode 4.
Episode 4?
I think so. Episode 4 of the Takeaway podcast. Started about a month ago. This is our 1 month anniversary.
About a week ago.
Yeah. So this has been our project over the past few weeks. Basically, we talk about sports, music, culture, Grand Rapids, basically anything but politics. It's pretty much the only thing that's off limits. So the whole thing's been improv. So it's basically just been whatever happens this week, we talk about it. So this week we're gonna talk about Lil Nas dropping his debut project.
All time, bro.
BT Hip Hop Awards.
We feed off each other so much, I feel like we start with the main question and end up somewhere else.
100%.
So like you tie into the podcast, it starts off with like, oh, Gold League's album, and next thing we're talking about business, or next thing we're talking about whatever.
I think it's a cool dynamic because it kind of shows how everything's interrelated.
Yeah.
So we're able to start somewhere and end somewhere at the end, but you can see how we got there through our train of thought. So
exactly.
That's why I like improvising the whole thing and not having like an outline.
Okay, so in the last episode we talked about building Rome, the concept of starting small, with what the conversation, what it could be, right? And the goal is to get to Pluto, right? To Mars, to the moon, to Rome. This is definitely part of this because Sam is somebody who understands the ground level, right? Laying brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. In the beginning, it looks like a red brick wall, and in 10 years, it looks like Rome. So that's what we're here to do right now. Yo, Rome, let's fucking go!
And I think some of the beauty of it too is you kind of find out who's really with you and who's not when you start in a situation like this. Because if you start with a nice studio and all this nice equipment, everyone and their mom's gonna come around to try to help you out because they want to be a part of that professional quality. But when you start in a situation like this, you find out who's really down to grind and build with you, because not everyone's willing to start at this level. So you find out who's really there for you, who's really supporting you.
Yeah, I think this is foundation, bro. This is our 10,000 shots on the hoop before we go to school in the morning. Like, this is what makes us really good at our crafts. And when 10 years later, like, how you're so good? I was like, dude, we weren't afraid to be in somebody's basement making a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we're just kind of like natural at. In all honesty,
yeah.
It's not like either one of us have run a YouTube channel before. I mean, we've been in front of a camera a lot, but it's not something that we practice all the time. So I don't know. I don't want to say like we're naturals, but
we're ready for it. We're born for this moment. We're born for the takeaway. This is our call. This is what I was born to do. Shout out to my mom and my dad. Like, that's it.
We peaked.
We peaked.
We peaked.
No, we peaked.
This is after credits. Okay, what did you just say?
Okay, so I feel kind of bad.
I can't believe you took all that credit.
I took credit for designing the set when I actually didn't do it.
You did nothing at all.
I just paid for it. That pretty girl over there designed the set. So she has to get some credit for what she did.
Thank you.
So good. She built the
She deserves
takeaway.
all the credit. She deserves all of it.
Don't say your name.
Oh, her name's McKenna.